Now, President Biden is back in Washington today after surveying the damage caused by those severe storms in California. The storm created devastation across the region and killed more than 20 people statewide. The president also warned that climate change could create more extreme weather. NBC News White House correspondent Allie Raffa joins us now for more on this. Hey, Allie, so before we get into the president's agenda for today, we'll touch on that in just a moment. Let's start with this trip to California. What was his assessment of the damage there, and what kind of support is he pledging?
Yeah, guys, President Biden toured the damage and devastation caused by this series of devastating storms in California. He saw all of that firsthand yesterday. He went to this small town called Capitola, this town that heavily relies on tourism, that was just devastated by the series of storms. He was there with the FEMA administrator as well as Governor Gavin Newsom. And President Biden made it very clear that he believes climate change is to blame for just the severity of these storms. And he pledged to give his full support to be able to rebuild after these storms. Take a listen to what he had to say.
The people in California, I say it again, the country is here for you and with you. We are not leaving till things are built back and built back better than they were before. You can recover from storms. We'll be with you every step of the way. And I mean that sincerely, every step.
The president approved a disaster declaration a couple days ago to help Californians rebuild. And then hours before his visit to California, he actually upped the number that he was giving in federal aid, not just to rebuild after these storms, but also to better equip the infrastructure of California in the wake of these storms, guys.
Allie, this trip to California, of course, comes with some big news as the backdrop. The president did speak for the first time about those classified documents that were found at his Delaware home. What did he have to say about that?
Yeah, this came after days, really, of the president and the White House ignoring questions from reporters in the wake of the discovery of these classified documents. The president yesterday taking one question about this during his trip to California, really downplaying the outcry and the backlash in the wake of this discovery. He said that there's no there, and he says that his administration and his lawyers did everything right in reporting this to the National Archives as well as the DOJ as soon as these classified documents were discovered. Listen to what he had to say.
We're fully cooperating, looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. I think you're going to find there's nothing there. I have no regrets. I'm following what the lawyers have told me they want me to do. It's exactly what we're doing.
The president finally commenting on this, but there's still major looming questions that reporters have been trying to ask the White House about this, like what level of classification these documents are, and actually, why the White House waited so long to acknowledge them. Remember, it took more than 2 months, and after media reports, for the White House to acknowledge just that first batch of documents.
Yeah, and there have been those several more since. Allie, also, we're now at the halfway point of the Biden presidency, and we understand he's going to be celebrating achievements from the past 18 months later today. How will he reflect on it, and when can we expect the official announcement on a 2024 run?
So we expect President Biden to deliver remarks later today talking about his legislative accomplishments and the campaign promises he's been able to keep over the last 2 years, and then which ones he plans on delivering on for the next 2. He's likely going to talk about legislation that he worked to achieve across the aisle, like the bipartisan infrastructure bill, health care reform, the ongoing fight against COVID-19 and inflation. And then he'll probably talk about what he aims to do over the next 2 years in battling inflation, on protecting women's reproductive rights, on student loan forgiveness. Looking ahead to 2024, there was some thinking that President Biden would make this announcement on whether he would or wouldn't run in 2024 before the State of the Union on February 7th. Then came the discovery of these classified documents, obviously this new special counsel probe. And now sources familiar are saying that while the timing of his announcement is still in flux, it definitely won't be coming before the State of the Union. But the White House is insisting that this new special counsel probe is not impacting whether or not President Biden will make this announcement. So we're still really in this waiting and watching period, guys.
All right, Allie Raffa, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.